Hey, good morning. So this video is going to be my day at the Star Wars Rise of the Resistance opening day event. My boarding group wasn't until later of the day, so I still got a pretty good day in before I went on the attraction. This video will be split into two parts. The morning will be waiting for getting a boarding group, going over to the attraction, seeing the first people go on the attraction, and then myself getting to go on some other attractions and looking at some construction. The second video will be exclusively about Rise of the Resistance, going on that attraction, how we felt afterwards, and then a little bit of my thoughts when I got home and could kind of put all my thoughts together. So I will end this video kind of abruptly and then go into the next video. The reason why I'm splitting them up is just because it would be way too long to have in one video. But thanks so much. I hope you enjoy this. And without further ado, this is what happened at 4:15 a.m. yesterday. So this is what it looked like at 4:15 a.m. in the morning. There was a lot of people there when I got there. It was already past the monorail beam. This was really fun. At 4:45, somebody came by with a lightsaber on the monorail track, and everyone took their lightsabers out and started swinging them around. It was really fun.
I got everything. I got my smock down.
Yeah, we got ours too. Yeah.
It was still pretty dark at 5:15 a.m.
Okay, I have to do my name.
But the line started stretching back pretty quickly. In the 5 to 6 o'clock hour was when we saw most of the line growth, which is crazy because the Mickey and Friends parking structure didn't open until 6. At about 5:30 a.m. I found my friends in a different line. I decided to join them instead of my current line.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And at about 5:46, they started to let us into the park. Walking down Main Street before sunrise is absolutely beautiful. If you ever get the chance, do it. It's pretty fantastic. So at around this time, it was insanely crowded, and not only were the parade lights on, but also the work lights were on below the parade lights, which is what they usually use for the third shift cast members who are working throughout the night. You can see by now the crowd has stretched all the way into the
Rise of the Resistance attraction. Beginning at 8 o'clock this morning, guests may join the queue through the Disneyland app. Once again, the virtual queue for admission to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance will open at 8 o'clock this morning. Thank you.
And then if one of us already got it, then I think the other person just gets to be there.
After about 6:30, I wasn't feeling well, so I decided to leave the park and head to the Grand Californian for about an hour or two. But during this time, it was interesting. The gates were open, but really nobody was in the Esplanade as well. Most of the people were lining up for California Adventure because Extra Magic Hours started at 7 a.m. It was really just a stark contrast from what it was just an hour before. Coming back from the Grand Californian, about 7:48, 10 minutes before the boarding group process started, I tried to look at the World of Disney building and look at some of the new windows, which were themed to Frozen 2, but also for 2020 merchandise, which started appearing in the shops just a couple weeks earlier. And there were some very nice displays, but there was also this one display that had cartoon versions of the Fabulous Five, and in the top right-hand corner there was a really weird photo of Minnie wearing lipstick that didn't quite look like Minnie Mouse. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, she looks kind of funny. Rise of the Resistance. Hey, maybe I should do that. So I headed back into the park at around 7:50, and it was really funny just seeing people standing around. Less people walking around than standing. Most people had their phones out because they were ready to get boarding groups. My friends were waiting at the manual boarding group distribution, which was at the Splash Mountain Fast Pass distribution. So instead of getting a Splash Mountain Fast Pass, you would get a boarding group. So I went through Frontierland, along the rivers of America, and I saw this line, which started over by Pirates of the Caribbean. This was at about 7:56 a.m. And it went past Haunted Mansion, it went around to Critter Country, and it turns out that this single line was actually for boarding groups. Now, what's really sad is that 90% of the people in this line were unable to get boarding groups because they were distributed within 4 minutes of 8 a.m. We actually did have a problem, and we were unable to get boarding groups all together as our group. We were able to speak with the manager, and everything ended up working out. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but this was happened at 7:58 a.m. This is what went on.
I know.
15 seconds.
Go, 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 go!
Are we just doing these then?
Hold on.
Wait, just wait 15 seconds.
Oh, it's not valid.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Go, go, go! No, still not valid.
Oh, I got group full.
Oh,
I got it. Hold on.
You got it?
No.
Hold on, wait.
Oh,
Stop. Do you have me?
We're good. Did you get it? No, I got it. You got it?
You're not in the park.
It says I'm not in the park? It says
Shit.
I'm not in the park.
Remove him. Get that. Get that. Remove Austin.
I got it. No!
Remove Austin.
I did! What does it say about the park? Group.
Remove guest from party.
that.
Okay.
No!
Continue. We don't have it yet.
we're gonna do the tickets if you're not gonna.
We're trying to.
It's not working.
Nothing's literally nothing's working.
Okay, just keep doing it. Keep doing it.
14. I don't know what's going on. That's what I'm saying.
I already spoke to someone. She said don't worry, the left side. Yeah, left side. Don't worry, left side. Because I thought, look, I thought that.
Okay, so he's with
Look at the LCD2.
And then what boarding group are you in? 95. Cool. So at this time, you have until boarding group 95 gets called, and then an hour after that.
Sassy drill.
I already got a selfie with our cube, but I won't. Yeah, but I'm trying to.
Hey, Julie!
Recruited, you know. Well, we're taking recruits.
Now give me a big roar.
In more numbers, you know.
Yeah.
Great.
You left me hanging.
Make sure you're still taking this
You left me hanging. You don't leave a man hanging.
They got your good side, Chewy. He's full of himself.
Guys, we can do better than that. Let's cheer with Chewy, ready?
You got on his good side. We got this, guys. We can do better, Chewy. I mean, it is a piece of
Everyone in this area, please fly, light the fire as loud as you can. Ready, Chewy? Ignite the spark!
Light the fire!
Which one kind of
Ignite the spark!
Light the fire!
Melissa testing us. Test runs. Oh, I guess you didn't hear that one.
Somebody got that or something. I know she was over on that side. How did she get over here? Yeah, that is a little sneaky for her to be able to go from over there to over here. Yeah, she was the one who got to stand with you earlier.
I did.
She wasn't with her crew last time. Did she disappear?
My crew is here.
No.
Now let him scan you now.
Okay.
Give him a
I know, she needs to put a pod. Don't worry. It's not anything else.
Sleeker, more efficient droids out there. There, what do you have to say?
That's what he has to say. We're going to need everybody to move to the right. If it's not your boarding group, because we do need to clear a path. Just so everybody knows, we're going to need to start calling them back very shortly.
R2 move.
You have group 12. Here. Only group 12.
Group 12! Group 12 to the right.
Yep. If you have boarding group 12, please have your boarding tickets out and ready. Right here in this area.
Sorry, while we're on patrol.
Okay, so now I'll start talking live. I was not feeling well this morning, so I didn't want to talk on camera, so most of that was in voiceover. Thank you for your patience. But right here we can see it's a small world.
Pretty cool, huh?
Which is, oh my goodness. Right here we can see Snow White. Her scary adventures are under refurbishment. There's a big wall out front of it, extending down towards Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but those walls have been there for a little while. This is going to be a rather extensive refurbishment that's going to significantly change the attraction, adding new scenes and removing some scenes as well, including the ending. Here's some concept art that was released by Disney. So, heading over to the Matterhorn, I want to say that the boarding group system is a lottery. You get what you get. Unfortunately, our group actually did have a problem with the app because it said one of our members were not in the park. So it was giving us boarding groups that were after the park, after the scheduled boarding group list, which ends at 80, I believe. So we had a problem with that. We just spoke with people at the attraction. They were able to help us out. So if you do have any problems, just know that there's always something you can do about it. Well, that was fantastic. I loved the Matterhorn. It was great. We were on the Fantasyland side, which was the one that was closed for a pretty significant period of time. I would even say that that ride was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I would say that because here are Mary Poppins and Bert. I will say, out of the days I've been here, out of the days I've worked here, I've never seen this park this crowded in the morning as I have this morning. Because this looks like 3 p.m. crowds. It's not. It's 9:30 in the morning right now. Just some semblance of wait times. The Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is 40 minutes. Everything else is 30 minutes or less. Star Wars!
That's so exciting.
Woo! I just love capturing Sasha's innocence. She's so excited. I don't know. This is how I felt when I was first entering the land. It's just so incredible. We're gonna go towards the Falcon and Oga's Cantina now. We're gonna try and do it single rider. I'm not quite sure what the wait is.
I had a bad feeling about that last group. Valuable merchandise across the galaxy. Pilots to navigate, engineers to operate the ship, and gunners to defend the shipments. And that is where you come in. Oh, the Millennium Falcon. Oh no, for some very fast and very profitable expeditions.
Chewie!
You are my very brave.
I'm left pilot. We both have to sit. Oh, I think you just sit where we sit, and then that's what you do. Yeah.
Do you all? You might need it. Today's flight takes you to the planet Corellia. You will be intercepting a first-order train shipment of coaxium. Gunners, you clear the path. And push forward to fly down. Ah! Weapons are online. Left pilot, hit the booster.
Train!
Now let's go get the coaxium.
It's warming up a little bit. The Mark Twain is still here for refurbishment. It was here earlier this week and it's still here. And there are a lot of people on Splash Mountain, which makes no sense because it's in the 50s right now. And you just get soaked. Anyway, headed towards Haunted Mansion now. On this side, we can see a little bit more of the refurbishment work that they're doing. They are beginning to tarp up some of the staircases so they can begin painting. You can see some tarp down here towards the second level. In the first level, you really can't see much from here. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good enough, thank you. Who's asking?
I'm Jake.
I'm Jake. I'm Jack.
Nice to meet you, Jack.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay. We decided to do Jungle Cruise because Pirates of the Caribbean was down. And I love Jungle Cruise, so I'm looking forward to it.
Shine, don't worry, I don't bite. Welcome aboard the world famous Jungle Cruise. My name is Paige and I'll be your skipper for however far we get. Oh, take a look on your right. Look at your first sign of wildlife. And look at those strange looking creatures there. Yeah, notice how they stand on their hind legs. Very odd. And it looks like the entire herd showed up today. That's unheard of. Now folks, looks like we're continuing our journey into the African belt. And look at all these animals here today. Look, there's some zebras, there's some giraffes, there's some brown zebras. Oh, look, the lions are protecting the sleepy zebra. Looks dead tired. Yeah, but I'll let him rest in peace. And to your left, you're going to see my good friend trader, Sam. Hi, Sam. He's the head salesman of the jungle. I recently got a promotion. Used to be the foot salesman. What a stinky business. But anyways, next to him is Ellie, his new companion. Isn't she cute? Yeah, we heard that he traded in his older model because she has better trunk space. Alright, get out. Oh, I'm sorry, that was rude. Please get out. Water side, you're gonna exit to the rear.
What may I offer Please, hearty heads. Everyone an egglet.
So we just did Pirates, and now we're heading into Indiana Jones because it just opened. It was down for a little while, and now it is back.
Hello. Oh, my friends. The brakes may be needing a little adjustment. Easy on the curve. The treasure of Mara, glittering gold. It is yours.
What did you want? Have what? What?
Haunted Mansion Holiday. Woo! I love this ride so much, and I love the overlay. It is so good. I agree.
Forward. I said, step forward. The stormtroopers, under my command, are on my orders, searching this outpost to ensure that does not happen. Sir?
The spy was tracked here. A small outpost on a small planet. Your mission was clear.
Sir, I will send out a reconnaissance unit and join them. Everyone, clear a path for the Supreme Leader. As for the rest of you lot...
You're initiating power transfer in 3, 2, 1.
It is Buzz Lightyear Astro Blaster time. I did ride this earlier in the week, but I absolutely love Buzz Lightyear, so I'm okay with riding it multiple times. Said goodbye to one group of friends, and we're headed over to Rise of the Resistance. So right now they are at boarding group 61. It is about 2:30 in the afternoon, which is great. That means it hasn't had significant downtime at all today because the final boarding groups are in the 80s, and then they go to the overflow boarding groups. So mine is 65, and I'm meeting up with some friends, and we're all going to go on together. We have a group of 7 of us, and it is an 8-person vehicle. So this will be really fun. It is certainly more chaotic here than it was just a couple days ago, certainly a couple weeks ago. This part of the land was completely empty. Well, no more. It is most likely going to be like this for a very long time. Everyone is waiting to go in. It turns out the attraction is down. 4 boarding groups before me, which is crazy. Just went on Pirates of the Caribbean, and I got a very unfortunate water stain right in the no-no area. And it definitely does not look like a splash stain. It looks like something else. And it's really embarrassing. But now I have a fast pass for Big Thunder Mountain. So I'm going to go meet some friends and go do that. And then hopefully by the end of that, Rise of the Resistance will be open and we will be able to board that. It kind of stinks that it went down right before we were about to get on, but it is what it is.